So let me introduce myself. So I'm working on data engineering and Azure Cloud from the past 7 years. So before uh, proceeding to the concepts of data engineering and Azure Cloud, so I would like to know the basic skill set which you have. Okay. Uh,
Amarnath, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, myself is Amarnath. I am currently working as a Gensar as a BA developer and MSBA and Power BA.
okay. Okay, Mana. Next, Ramana.
Ramna, your voice is very low.
Can you hear now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm working on PeopleSoft right now. I'm planning to learn this cloud technologies like Azure or GCP.
Okay, Ramana. Yeah. How about Sharath?
Hi, Muddasir. Good morning. Well, I'm into BA developer. I'm working since 2010. I'm into MSBI. I'm into OBI. Okay. Earlier, started working with Hyperion. I worked with Oracle OBI also. Well, I want to learn cloud-related technologies. So, yeah.
Yeah. How about Subhash?
Yeah, hi Muddasir. I have 7 years of experience as an Oracle DBA, currently working at entity data. Yeah, just now I'm trying to switch into the Azure Data Engineer.
Okay. Okay. How about Venkatesh?
Hi, Mohammed. Good morning. I'm working as a Hadoop admin. I have 2 years of experience in Hadoop admin currently.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So right now
Sounds.
I'm planning to learning this one, Azure Data Cloud.
Okay. 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 Yeah. That's great. You know the Hadoop, right? So it is a basic building block for data engineering. Yeah. So let me share my screen. So as I can see that most of the people, they are from BI background, and also someone, Venkatesh is in from Hadoop domain. So basically the data engineering track, right? So there are the three basic blocks which you need to study for data engineering, which is the SQL. SQL is the key essential component for data engineering, and you need to learn any one programming language, either Python or Scala. As part of this course, we will focus on Python. So we will just focus on the basics, not too in depth. And also PySpark. You need to learn the PySpark library. So especially there are multiple libraries that you have to learn: RDDs, data frames, and data sets. But mostly you should focus on the data frames, okay, with respect to PySpark. So these three are essential to learn Azure Cloud. Okay. So in the when you come to Azure Cloud concepts, so Azure Data Factory, this is a must to learn. So this is of you don't have to learn coding for this Azure Data Factory, but you must know each and every. You need to know how to build the pipelines and how to uh, use the activities, predefined activities and connectors in this Data Factory. Okay. So basically, Data Factory is doing ETL jobs for us. So as you already know, ETL is extract, load, and transform, right? So we will, as a data engineer, we will uh, load the data from a number of sources, different sources. We will load it into some kind of staging area, okay, and then we perform transformations, and then we load it into the sink. Okay, sink is nothing but a destination. So that sink will be used by the downstreams to analyze the data. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah. So sorry to interrupt you. So a storage area in the sense is the data warehouse or is in a cloud so where we store that data.
so there are two things. Okay, so I will tell you.
Okay.
The data lake is a, storage solution. Okay,
Okay.
so mostly here in the data lake you will dump the data. Okay, but
Okay.
it is mostly based on the use case that you are trying to solve. Okay,
Mhm. Okay.
so mostly in most of the projects they load the data into the data lake because the data lake accepts every kind of data. Means it accepts uh, mostly it accepts file format, but
Mm-hmm.
there are some cases where you use Databricks to build a table on the top of the file. Okay, so that I'm going to explain, but Synapse is a data warehouse solution for us. Okay, Synapse Analytics. Okay, this is a data warehousing solution. But most of the projects, right, as of today, so they are using data lake because there is a new concept called lake house. Okay,
Okay.
so that I will start. So it has to be explained in depth. Okay, so this is a new concept which is evolving. Okay, this is everyone is implementing lake house instead of their data warehousing because of some benefits of lake house over data warehouse. So yeah. So if you want to build a lake house, you will load the data into the data lake. If you want to build the data warehouse, you load the data into Synapse. So that is a short answer. And oh, okay. So ETL jobs. So we build ETL jobs with the help of the pipelines we have in the data factory. And then the next is Azure Databricks. This is a most used tool in the Azure cloud. Okay. So basically, what it will do is it will run Spark jobs on clusters. Okay. So what is a Spark? Spark is nothing but so it process the data at petabyte scale. Okay, so whatever amount is data. So for example, um, so only one system, right? It can process some. Let's say it process data at 1 GB. Okay, so if you have 10 systems, right? So how much speed it can get? So each system can process 1 GB, right? So that so if you have 10 dB or 10 petabyte of data which you want to read. Okay, so if you use one system, how much time it will take? And if you take 10 systems, okay, how much time it will take? Because if you take 10 systems, these 10 systems can work in parallel to get that huge amount of data, right? So uh, so that is a basic principle that Spark works on. Okay, it is just a tool. Okay, it is just a framework uh, to read the data and also to store the data. Okay, so basically Spark is a processing tool. It is Spark processing engine. So Databricks is like a it is a company so which has packaged Spark so that the users can use they can run queries, they can run jobs on the top of the clusters. Okay, so clusters are nothing but they are machines. Okay, multiple machines which work on one job. So this is a basic overview on Databricks. So when it comes to data engineering track, data factory and Databricks, it is must to learn. Okay, and with respect to storage solutions, so you should have basic understanding of data lake, Synapse, and SQL database. So SQL database, it is for OLTP, okay, and Synapse, it is for OLAP, and data lake, so it is just a storage solution where you can store files, and you can also build a lake house on the top of that storage solution. And the logic app, right? So it will have a basic connectors, so it was built in order to make the developers tasks easier, okay. So it will have a lot of predefined connectors where we can trigger these logic app workflows um, to do specific jobs. For example, let's say in Azure Data Factory, okay, so we have built one pipeline, okay, it will process some jobs, okay. Let's say if the pipeline fails, okay, and the user wants, or business users or developers, they want to get the notification about which job has failed, okay, we can trigger the Azure Logic App workflow to get the alerts on that pipeline, okay. So this is one of the use case. The same way, the Logic App has a number of predefined connectors which can connect to all the Azure services, okay. So this is one of the things that Logic App can do. So it will have a lot of enterprise connectors. So it is designed so that the developer um, uh, can do some activities without much coding, okay. So in as you can see, so Databricks involves PySpark and Python coding, and the remaining all the things, you just have to have the knowledge on the each and every component. And let me show you the portal. So this is Azure Portal. So where you can see number of sources, right? Resources, right? You will have see the data factory is the main component. Okay. So here you can create data factories and you can work with that. Okay, this is for ETL jobs. So if you go to storage accounts, you can create a data lake. And yeah, here you can create SQL servers and SQL databases. I have already said, it is used for transactions, okay, OLTP jobs. And Databricks, so here you can work on creating the workspaces for Azure Databricks. So the main thing in this portal is, so everything will be working based on the subscription model, okay. So here, as you can see, so free trial, I have, this is a subscription which was given by Azure, okay. So it will so everyone has to create free trial account, okay, based on for this course, okay, in order to practice, okay. So they will give you some kind of some 15,000 amount, okay, um, to do some practice, okay. And only it will accept any Gmail account. So with the help of Gmail account, you need to create a Microsoft account, and you need to give the credit card information. And it is billed, see, you can see it is billed for 1 month, and they will give you 15,000 rupees, so you can use that amount. So if it is expired, right, you can create another email and you can work on resources, okay. So this is must. So whenever you start wanted to practice, just please create this trial account. And yeah, subscriptions, so everything will work on this subscription. So let's say you have seen resource groups, right? So resource groups are part of subscription. Suppose this is a free trial subscription that I have got from Microsoft, right? So with this subscription and whatever billing details that I have given, so these resource groups are tagged to that subscription. Okay, so as you can see, I have created two resource groups. Okay, so one is for processing and one is for storage. You can also create here also one resource group. You just have to give some name. Okay, resource group, and you have to give some region. So when you click on review and create, it will create resource groups for you. Yeah, so the resource group, so let's say this processing resource group has a one data factory. Okay, as you can see, this is a data factory. You can launch the data factory from here. Okay, so this is data factory, and from here you can create pipelines, data flows, data set. So you should you should understand each and every thing here, how to design pipelines, how to create data sets, how to design data flows, all those things. Okay, and yeah, resource groups. So resource groups, if we check, so resource group is combination of resources. Okay, so yeah, so these are all the three levels of hierarchy in Azure cloud, which is the subscription, and subscriptions are tagged to resource groups are tagged to subscriptions, and resources, individual resources, which where the amount is built, so it is tagged to resource groups. Okay, so these are all the basics of at least the portal. So how to search, okay, whatever resources that you have created, these are all the basics. So so do you want any other topics apart from this, anyone? So I have almost covered all the important resources. So if there is anything in your mind, you can add.
Sharath, anything from your Sharath, anything from your end? And Ramna, anything from your end? Any other topics? Or Subhash?
Yeah, nothing from my end. Actually, I don't know what are the topics will be there and what to learn. So, completely I'm fresher to this domain. So, I don't know. So,
Yeah, no issues. So yeah, these are all the very essential topics which will onboard you to the data engineering field. So
okay.
this would suffice in order to crack job.
And Venkatesh, anything from your end?
Um, when we spoke, right, you said like we should know the Power BI and those two for the visualizations for this data engineering tool. Hello?
So Ramana, so yeah, data visualization, it can be covered, but it is not very essential. It is very essential for data scientists.
Oh, okay, not for data engineering.
Yeah, not for data engineering. Yeah, so you won't get, for data engineer won't get work on the data visualizations mostly.
So, okay,
Data
then when
scientist.
do
So data scientists, right? So they have to, and so they need to work with visualization engineer or some data scientist, right? They will work on the dashboards.
Okay. So where do we use Spark and Python?
Spark and Python we use in Databricks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in market, there's one more ETL tool for this cloud, right? What is it? Snowflake? So
No.
when will they use the Snowflake or when will they use this one? Like,
Nice. Snowflake is a data warehousing solution. So in Azure, right, Synapse is already there. So Synapse is somewhat costly, and Snowflake is gaining popular because it is cost effective and its performance is good. So it is not part of Azure cloud. It is a proprietary tool. So which can be integrated into the all clouds, Snowflake.
okay.
I think Snowflake itself is a different cloud, right? Or a third-party tool to integration.
No, it is just a third-party tool. It is not a cloud. Snowflake is not cloud. So it is just a data warehousing tool, solution which is built for integrating.
Cloud.
It can integrate it with any cloud. So Azure, AWS, anything, Google. So it can integrate with any cloud, and it is just like a data warehousing solution.
Okay, so in our case, instead of Azure Synapse, we use
Yes. Yeah.
Snowflake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
mostly
thanks.
Azure won't recommend, right? Azure,
Yes.
they want to don't want to lose users on Synapse, right? So that's why they will suggest Synapse to use. But most of the people, right, for the projects, they will use Snowflake also.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So do you cover this Azure fundamentals part of this course?
Yeah, Azure fundamentals. Yes. So before starting Azure Data Factory, I will normally I will explain you each and every component of that, and then we will work on the hands-on exercises.
Okay. So do we need to complete that? What is the certification? Azure Fundamental Certification and this one, Azure Data Engineering, before applying jobs?
Yes. So it would be beneficial to you. So if you can crack that, especially the Azure Data Engineering Certification, so you can learn some basics, like some basic concepts. You will be get refreshed if you complete Azure Data Engineering Certification. Fundamentals, it is not required.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just if you are interested, you just complete that Azure Data Engineering Certification. So that would suffice. It will add value to your resume.
Okay.
And also, like as I told you before, the thing is, 2 years or 3 years before, we have to do the certification kind of on a sequence, Azure fundamentals, then Azure Data Engineer, different. So now it's not like that. Not only for Azure Data Engineer, anything we can directly go for the that particular certification. For example, Azure DevOps also. Before they used to do Azure fundamentals, then Azure administration, then Azure DevOps. Right now, we don't need to do any kind of sequence, so we can directly go for Azure DevOps directly. And when it comes to like fundamental, if you want to do any fundamental certification for data engineer, then you have to go for Azure Data Fundamentals. That is Azure DP 900. Not like Azure Fundamentals. Azure Fundamentals for those who are planning to learn Azure DevOps, Azure Security, Azure Solution Architect, or Azure Administration. For them, for you, it will be Data Fundamentals. You have to go for Data Fundamentals. That is DP 900. Let me stop the recording.